Crime scene investigation has been glamorized by TV shows, movies, even true crime podcasts, creating a fascination with the profession. Generations of people have grown up on popular shows like Forensic Files and CSI, and with the rise of Netflix documentaries, it's really no surprise that there are so many eager people who want to pursue it as a career. I was certainly one of them, influenced by those very shows. But let me tell you something, there is so much more to the job than meets the eye, and I really wish I knew what I was getting myself into. So in today's video, I'm sharing 7 brutal truths about what it's really like to be a CSI. Number 1, it's not CSI like the TV show. You will never look that good at 3 in the morning when you're rolling out to a crime scene. And everything they do on TV is nicely wrapped up in 45 minutes or maybe an hour if you're watching a Netflix series. In real life, scene processing can take exponentially longer because you want to make sure that you're collecting and documenting every item properly. Sometimes just getting the walkthrough and briefing can take an hour or more because of all the moving parts. There's a lot more tedious and meticulous work that's just not shown. And there's also some waiting, especially for warrants to be signed. And also what's not shown is the report writing and all the lab analysis or the boring stuff that happens back at the lab. Number 2, there are no regular hours. Crime doesn't happen between 9 to 5 on Monday to Friday. It happens 24/7, 365. It happens on a weekend, at midnight, at your kid's game or your anniversary, on holidays and birthdays. You're guaranteed to miss one or more of those things. It can be incredibly taxing on your personal life, so having a strong support system is absolutely crucial. Number 3, working crime scenes can be extremely challenging and messy. They're chaotic, gruesome, and you will have to deal with dead bodies in all conditions. It can really turn your stomach if you don't like the sight of blood, and decomp is the absolute worst. It stays in your pores, it gets on your clothes, sometimes it even lingers in your note pages. And as a friend of mine so eloquently said, your head might say you won't be bothered by it, but your gag reflex doesn't agree. And aside from that, logistically, sometimes it can be tough. Sometimes you have a bathroom, sometimes you don't. So you have to go whenever you have the opportunity, even when you don't think you need to. And sometimes you will be in the weirdest places, like rappelling down the side of a mountain or in a drainage ditch under a freeway overpass. Number 4, expect to do a lot of bending, squatting, lifting, just moving equipment. It's not always heavy work, but expect to have to play Twister or do yoga to be able to maneuver around evidence or blood or a dead body because you don't want to step in anything or, move an item of evidence as you navigate through your scene. It is extremely exhausting. You're also on your feet for hours at a time. And the thing is, you can't just go home. You may be able to get relief, but most of the time you're there until you finish the scene. Number 5, you're not a lone ranger on scenes. You're always dealing with other personnel, especially detectives. You're there to assist their case. It's really a collaborative effort with them, and sometimes other personnel like the medical examiner or coroner investigator, or other members from your own team who are there to assist. Sometimes collecting an item of clothing from a person can take hours because you have to determine the proper sequence of photography, marking, testing, and determine how to collect that item without destroying any evidence. Number 6, cases will take a long time to go to trial. It's not as quick as you would think. Sometimes it takes years for a case to actually go to court because of one thing or another. And by the time you go to trial, you would have forgotten all the pertinent details of the case, so you have to rely on your notes and your photos to refresh your memory.
I want the truth!
And you better have taken good notes. And lastly, number 7, and I think this is the most important thing to know, is that the emotional toll is absolutely real. There is such a thing as vicarious trauma, and it's recently become more talked about in the forensic discipline. You will see a lot of death and a lot of mayhem. You will see the worst things that people do to each other on the regular. There are things that you will see that you would never think could be possible, and you still have to maintain your composure and do your job. You have to be professional, process the scene, collect the evidence, and somehow you have to process all that you were immersed in before you go to your next call or before your head hits the pillow at night. It's really not uncommon to see burnout as a CSI. All right, so those were the 7 things about being a CSI that I wish I knew before diving into this career. It's not as glamorous or easy as the TV shows make it out to be, but it really is an incredibly rewarding career. So if you're thinking about becoming a CSI, just make sure you go into it with your eyes open. And if you are interested in learning about how to get into the field, then be sure to check out this video. Thanks again for watching, and leave a comment down below if you found this video to be helpful or eye-opening. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.